lecture. Our guest is Agnes Birtalan from Hungary. Same time I can hear myself too. Our guest is Agnes Birtalan from Hungary. She's head of International Mongolian Studies Center. She will talk about Hungarian studies, Mongolian studies in Hungary. Agnes, please, you can begin.
Okay. Dear Professor, thank you for inviting me, and I hope that I will be able to see your institution and the Mongolian studies in Turkey personally. And I'm sorry that I was not able to visit your study center. How many minutes do you give me? What is your opinion? How long shall I talk?
Up to your free time, until 40 minutes.
Okay, so up to 40 minutes. Okay, so I try to talk in 30, and hopefully there will be questions or remarks as well.
Okay.
So can you hear me clearly? I hope.
Yes, we can hear you clearly. Yes.
Okay. Yeah.
Thanks.
So my presentation is a short summary of the Hungarian Mongolian studies. And I especially focus on the ELTE University and how it has began and how it is now organized. And I'd like to introduce our achievements for you. My slides are in Mongolian, so those who would love to practice Mongolian can read it, but I am going to talk in English. So the university, the Center of Mongolian Studies in Hungary, is called the Eötvös Loránd University. And I hope it is well known because many branches of Oriental studies are quite early and are maintained quite well known worldwide, I think. And just for the introduction, I'd love to introduce why is Mongolian studies so crucial, so interesting for Hungarian people. As you know, Hungarian people were nomads as well as the Mongols are. And there are a very early depiction of Hungarian archers during the time when they appeared on the horizons of Europe. And among the Hungarian ethnogenetic mythology, there are many similar motifs, like in Inner-Asian people have not only the Mongols, but the Turkic people and other Inner-Asian empires. For example, this is the famous word called turul in Hungarian, which is the Mongolian Togril. You remember from the Secret History, the name of the Khan of the Karaits, Togril Khan. So turul, for example, is an important motif in the Hungarian ethnogenetic legend. If you are interested in this topic, I can talk about it for a later occasion. Yeah. And all of you who have visited Hungary are acquainted with the Hero Square, where the so-called heroes who occupied the present-day Hungary, the territory of the present-day Hungary. This is Arpad. So many things resemble the one-time nomadic way of life, even today. as you can see, during the 20th century, similar ways of cattle breeding were still maintained in Hungary as it is now, but today, of course, it is not so widespread anymore. But you can see the similarities. And how did it start, the Hungarian Mongolian studies? The 19th century was the beginning because a special wish appeared among Hungarians to seek the land of origin and to seek people who can be related to Hungarians. And the 19th century European scholarship was very highly developed, and the philology on this basis, on the philological basis, I will introduce you how important works were born during this period. So, but before the 19th century, there were some forerunners of studying Mongolian language, and especially studying the similarities between Hungarian and Mongolian. And of course, in this point, always the Turkic languages are very important. And as you can see on this slide, Jesuit monk Prai György already pointed out that there are similar words in Hungarian, Mongolian, and later, of course, later researchers found much more, but this is the one of the first tries. And now we come to the ALTA, to my university, where I work, and the first steps of Hungarian Mongolian studies. On this slide, I introduced that during the second half of the 19th century, there were two very important personalities. One is Budenc József, and the other is Szentkatonai Bálint Gábor. And this is the first Hungarian grammar of written Mongolian issued in 1998. Just I wrote a very short introductory article on the website of the International Association of Mongolian Studies. I hope you got the link, and you can see the introduction, how József Budenc, who is a well-known Finno-Ugrist in Hungary, how he became interested in Mongolian languages and prepared this brief grammar for the purposes of studies. And the other, you probably are very well acquainted with the activity of Szentkatonai Bálint Gábor, who on the traces of Körösi Csoma Sándor, the very well-known Hungarian Tibetologist, decided to study Oriental languages, and with some support of the Academy of Sciences in 1871 and 1873 carried out the first academic or scientific fieldwork among Mongolian people. Yes, his heritage are three manuscripts. One is devoted to Kalmyk, one is to the Mongolian proper, and one is a comparative grammar, which is very interesting because this is the ever first grammar, based on fieldwork results and on vernacular language. I was the lucky person because Szent Katonai Bálint Gábor was not able to publish his achievements during his lifetime. There were many purposes of it. This is also a separate topic, but he lived among the Kalmyks, as you can see. Unfortunately, he was quite poor and with how to say, not too large amount of material support, was not able to take photos. But at that time, exactly, 19th century Kalmyks life was like this. So Bálint lived in this environment. And he made records of folklore and about everyday life of Kalmyks. And why is this manuscript so important? This is the ever first large record of spoken Kalmyk. And as you can see on this slide, he collected, recorded various folk tales, folk songs, and other genres of folklore. When the president, Ilyumzhinov, visited Hungary, he wanted to become acquainted with the materials, the ever first recorded materials of Kalmyk language, and he visited the Academy of Sciences, and these are the pictures. And then with his generous and the Academy's generous support, we were able to publish the book on the right, Kalmyk Folklore and Folk Culture in the mid-19th century. The Romanized grammar, as Bálint named his comparative grammar of Halha and Kalmyk, I published a little bit earlier. But as you can see, no, these books and Bálint's manuscripts are available. And you can visit my website, academia.edu, and both books are on this site. Yeah, and in 1873, Bálint visited Urgu, today Ulaanbaatar, and he changed a little bit his methodology because he chose only one informant, a lam, a monk, a Buddhist monk, and the majority of the materials were recorded from him. This is the Russian consulate where Bálint lived during his stay in Ulaanbaatar, in Urgu, today Ulaanbaatar. And some examples of his records. He also recorded similarly to his Kalmyk fieldwork, folk songs, euros, blessings, riddles, oinsog, and also some records about the Mongolian everyday life. As you can see, Bálint's transcription, so many of you might be interested in the language, he noted down as Mongol ulusen yabdalik utulik chitol, Mongol ulusen iknirapch girlikinyos, Mongol ulusen ukuksen kune yasig barichios. If you are familiar with the Mongolian dialect, so you notice that he recorded a little bit like Western Mongolian dialect or similar to Kalmyk. Uksin huni yasig barichiosin orand, instead of writing it, uksen kune yasig barichios. There are questions that whether his informants were of Western Mongolian origin or the Kalmyk language was so influential that he noted down even the Halha texts with a little bit Western Mongolian way. So certainly, as his main informant was a Lama, he recorded many texts connected to Buddhism. Here you can see one of the records. This is very interesting. As far as I know, this is the only record of source called Cengiz Boktani Hardiftir. And the oral variant of this probably one time existing written work. I published it, I devoted a separate article to it because it is very interesting about how the Mongols comprehended the Buddhism and how they connected it with the cult of Genghis. And here is a part of from a Buddhist text, a prayer called ilki in Mongolian, and a very rare record, a haral, a curse, which is not easy to record during the field work. And apart from an artinto. Edninjora Shargik Unoj, it's in Hani Alban. Enige onshad parak Mongolsik sonsordo. And if you read it, yes, this transcription is very close to contemporary Alha. Yeah, and he named the Mongols open-hearted people of Genghis Khan. I published a book about devoted to his activity, and I also called it in Mongolian Genghis Khan's 작은 습격 다툼. So the open-hearted people of Genghis Khan. This is a summary of the first Hungarian Mongolist who carried out field work, the summary of his activities about Kalmyks, Buryat as well, and Halhas. If you are interested in it is probably available somewhere in Mongolia for surely. Yeah, and while it was also known that he tried to seek the connections of Hungarian people, and he prepared in Hungarian and gave a Mongolian title as well, Magyar-Mongol Hoyerhilik Adil Kakbichik, comparative, how to say, dictionary of Magyar and Mongolian. There are more than 1,000 words in this dictionary, but the majority of it are not reliable. However, it is worth to study and how to say, revisit these pages. Balint loved the Mongols, and he wrote it, and I usually quote it in Hungarian because the Mongols honored him because he learned quite good the languages, and asked, why are you interested in Mongolian? And he answered, Erdem Birlikte, it means people who are involved in academic affairs must know Mongolian language and culture. So this is the 19th century, the beginnings, and now I'm going to talk briefly about our department. So this is the current headquarters at ELTE University, where the Department of Inner-Asian Studies, and now it is known as Mongolian and Inner-Asian Studies resides. The founder was Ligeti Lajos, who, okay, I got a message that this meeting will end in 10 minutes. Shall I do something with it?
Yes. No, you can go on more 8 minutes, maybe. No, you shouldn't do anything. Yeah,
I continue. Anything, yes. Okay. So the founder of our department, Ligeti Lajos, and no, I cannot go forward. Okay, yeah. So he was well known because he also carried out fieldwork in Inner Mongolia and published many books and articles about the written sources of the Mongols. In Hungarian, he published a popular book devoted to his study trip in Inner Mongolia, and among his works, this is very important that he published, for example, the catalogue of Kanjur, the Buddhist canon, and he has a very interesting itinerary about his experiences in Inner Mongolia. And his he also established the Orientalia, which is the well-known Hungarian Journal of Oriental Studies, and according to his efforts, for you, maybe for all of you, well-known Hungarian cabinet of Oriental Studies at the Academy of Sciences. Actually, Ligatis heritage is kept here, just like Balint's manuscripts. Yeah, and this is the famous Rapport Préliminaire, Ligatis itinerary, and it has been translated into Mongolian, and I hope it will appear, it will be published this year. The territory in Inner Mongolia Ligati visited, and this is the map he drew, and some other works he published in Hungary, and there are republished versions also, his experiences for the larger audience, and some pictures from Ligati's in the middle, on the picture on the right side, you can see Professor Ligeti. The Ujumchin and the Daud people. Yeah, and some more pictures from Ligeti's heritage. And I'd like to say some words about his main disciples, as Urai Kőhalmi Katalin, who published a lot, an abundance of articles in Hungarian and in German, and was involved in studying, this is her picture during the first conference or first Congress of Mongolists. So he was known for being very well involved in Manjatungu's studies and Mongolian folklore as well. Ligeti with, Kőhalmi with Professor Rinchen and Bowden, and Kőhalmi during field research in the 50s. So Professor Kara, who is my master, and this is his 70th birthday we celebrated, and he is well known for studying the Mongolian written sources. The Book of Mongolian Nomads, I think, can be used just like a Bible for the Mongols about the written culture. We have a Mongolian Hungarian dictionary, and Professor Kara has published recently a dictionary of Sonomgaras Erdeni Sang. I'm not going to talk in detail about Professor Rónataš because Bairma will talk about it while introducing University of Szeged. Ligatis Sav was Professor Sárközi, who is involved in studying Mongolian Tibetan dictionaries and also texts devoted to folk religion. And Dr. Lőrinc, who was an excellent folklorist and is now probably the best known Hungarian writer of fiction, adventures, and his Mongolian studies are built into the plot of these works. Before he abandoned Mongolian studies, he prepared the Mongolische Märchentypen. It means that this is a very important folklore issue about the typology of tales. And as you can see, life at the department and many well-known and famous Mongolian scholars visit our department, have visited, and of course, during this last year, it was stopped because of the virus. And some pictures from the life of the department. As you can see, once we had many students, but after this Bologna system was introduced, the number of students reduced as well, which is a pity. But we have many students from abroad, especially from Mongolia, China, and Russia, and visiting scholars from other countries as well. So this is about the current situation. We have BA, MA, and PhD, of course, and the PhD courses are taught in English, and all of you are most welcome to come to us and spend probably a half year or several months at our department. And I'd like to share with you some pictures about visits of important politicians as Natsagin Bagvend or Sukhpatrim Batbold. And what was very important for us in 2014, when President Albert visited the university and our department, and we launched a Mongolian Studies unit supported by the Mongolian government to the department. As you can see, this is my room at the university, and you can see Mongolian and Indonesian Studies department and Mongolisztikai Kutatóközpont in Hungarian, which means that the Center of Mongolian Studies. Recently, President Patulak also visited us, and this is an interesting initiative initiated by a Hungarian politician, Lezsák Sándor, that we organize every summer a camp for translating Mongolian literature into Hungarian and making people acquainted with our achievements. And I'd like to show some slides about our fieldwork, which has started in 1991. And since then, almost yearly, we have visited the Mongolian countryside. And here are some publications, results of our research, as this DVD and a book devoted to Oirat and Kalmyk linguistics, mostly based on fieldwork achievements. And of course, one of our main topics is the studying religions, folk religion, shamanism, and Buddhism. And here you can see a Hungarian series which is devoted to